Good evening. Wow, it feels so good to have a reason to put on clothes that weren't on my floor from the night or 2 nights or 3 nights before. Ooh, I think Peyton is cooking down here. Chicken thighs, I know it. Chicken thighs? I knew it. You know what I really want to try, babe? I found this thing that I am so intrigued by because I love boiled eggs. I think they're such a nice, quick, easy snack. And I'm also very addicted to a very chalky yolk. There's just something about, I think about it. Like, I don't eat boiled eggs as, oh, I have to be healthy. I want boiled eggs. So I found this. It is a make 7 eggs any style every day egg cooker, 1-touch cooking, and apparently it's supposed to make your eggs in less time than it takes to boil water. I'm a little skeptical. I also don't know what they mean by it can make any eggs because I can't, it seems like I can make omelets. What? Okay, we're gonna figure it out together. Welcome to today's episode of seeing angles of my house that you've never seen before. Okay, tampons in the kitchen, fine, it's fine.
I don't see how that can make an omelet.
Well, we're gonna see. Did it come with any type of directions?
Are there buttons? You just plug it in.
It's gotta have directions somewhere, right? This egg cooker is equipped with a precision thermal sensor and will automatically shut off when the water has fully evaporated from the heating plate and buzzer sounds. So it's like a, you put water in it vibe. I didn't know it was gonna be a water pot. Did you?
I figured it was steam, yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. But as we discussed, I'm not the smartest person. Hi, Fred. Hey, buddy. You are handsome. We haven't hung out much today. You didn't come up and hang out with me. Radio did. Radio was with me all day today. Wow. You must miss me. Okay, I will hold you until you squirm away. One time I learned that you should always hold the hug the longest. It was from a Disney princess post I saw. It's like a Disney princess said, whenever I'm working, I always make sure to let the child release first so I know how much hug they need. So now I do that with people and with cats. He seems like he's having a great time like this. Maybe I should start holding him not like a baby more often. Should I try to put him over my shoulder and see ways you like to be held? You like this, Fred? Is this comfy for you? Nope. Okay. Back to the eggs. Okay, we're on to something. Let's see. Using your everyday egg cooker. Boiling eggs. Should we just start with boiling eggs?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll cook a new egg every day. They'll just turn into egg mist. Pierce the larger end of each egg at the bottom. To pierce the eggs. This already feels like more work than boiling eggs, but it's my first time, so maybe that's why it feels this way. I have to pierce the egg with this thing. This is the omelet bowl. I need eggs. You got gravy? I need more eggs. Do you think this noise is awful in the background? I mean, don't stop cooking the food for me. Pierce the larger end of each egg with the attached pin at the bottom of the measuring cup. What's the next step? Use the measuring cup to pour the appropriate corresponding amount of cold water into the heating plate. Well, I don't know how much water that is.
Is there a measurement on there?
Hard. You want water? Okay. Great. The eggs are like stuck to the curtain. Ah! Oh my god, you got salsa too? I'm so excited for that. Okay, the larger part of the egg is here. Pierced. We're getting down to the nitty gritty now, so I want to make sure that you're all on this ride with me. Place the boiling tray on the heating plate with the handles facing upward. Make sure the holes of the larger end of the egg are pointed upward. Okay. 1 egg. Cover with the lid and plug the egg cooker. Press the power button to start cooking. The indicator light will turn on.
Seems pretty easy.
It does seem pretty easy. Ah! So then just put this on. Plug it in. But how do I know how long to set it for? Yes, Fred? Are you bored? Clearly. Hi, radio. Hi, mama. She wants to go outside so bad. We have an enclosed backyard, but apparently there's an owl in the neighborhood. Plus it's kind of chilly and I don't want them to catch a cold. I don't really know how cats work like that, but it seems better to not. Okay, is there like a time on here though? I feel like there has to be. but it says for hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah, that's the amount of water you put in.
No, it says 12 minutes. Like it's telling me a time.
Yeah, but I mean, like it'll shut itself off and ding whenever it's done. Whenever all that water evaporates.
So you're...
That's what the sensor is inside. It senses that there's no water left.
Okay.
So that's how you know it's done. Because the amount of water you put in there is essentially your timer.
I trust you. So now I press... Oh wait, did I turn it off or on?
Is the lid on?
Cover the lid and plug the egg cooker in. Press the power button to start. The indicator light will turn on. Shit, I just turned it off. Okay. Now I think she's going. It's just confusing as it says hard-boiled eggs, 1 to 3 will be 12 minutes, 4 to 7 is 16 minutes. So like it knows how many eggs are in here?
Think about the way that the heat disperses amongst the eggs. If you have that many eggs in there versus if you have 2. So those 2 eggs are going to absorb more of the heat faster as opposed to 6 eggs.
But how does it know what style I want?
The amount of water you put in. More water, more.
Feels like I'm leaving a lot up to this guy. I feel like I'm assuming that this thing is smarter than it can possibly be. It knows how many.
Thermodynamics.
Okay, thermodynamics. Okay, fine. But it knows how many eggs and the level of eggs that I want cooked just based on the water that I put in.
Correct.
Okay. All right, because more water for harder boiled eggs.
More water, more cook time. Less water, less cook time.
But how does it know how many eggs I have in there?
So when that thing heats up,
yeah,
there's less eggs, right?
Yeah.
So those 2 eggs are going to absorb more heat, thus.
Okay, so like when I put 2 mugs in a microwave of water, it takes longer time.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, well I'm excited to see what's up. Okay.
I think it's easier.
Okay. I like the way it's steaming. It's a nice little steam. And I love boiled eggs, so if this works. Do you think we would cook omelets and stuff in here? Should we just play? Not right now, but like tomorrow, maybe we'll make some omelets. New activity. Fun. Look at this poor little lady. She wants to go outside so bad. It's cold out there. And there's animals that will for sure eat you in one bite. You're so tiny. Look how itty bitty she is. I hope that she stays small forever. She's still the size of a kitten. And then he's a monster. Hi, monster. Well, they said buzzer. Yeah, it's definitely that's ringing. Do I turn it off? Soak the eggs in ice water or run them under cold water immediately after removing them from the express egg cooker to stop the cooking process and to make peeling easier. We are addicted to Trader Joe's sweet potato fries all day, every day. Well, not all day. Dinner time almost every day though. Really bad for you. Just cook some chicken thighs on the stove. It's so fucking good. I think I let them sit a little too long. I'm, while I eat, going to drop these eggs into some ice water. Then by the time I'm done eating, maybe I will have some eggs that I don't want to eat. We're back. All right, let's see if this little baby did as promised. I mean, super fucking easy peel. Holy shit. Am I completely full? Yeah. Am I about to eat this egg? Yes. I don't think it's as boiled as I'd like it to be, but it's not really my kind of egg. But also, I never eat my eggs after they're freshly cooked. I eat them after they're in the fridge for a while, so but the yolk is still kind of runny in the center. I like it when it's chalk, bitch. I want to write on the blackboard at school. I want to choke on it because it is so dry. Babe, do you want to try this egg? 8 out of 10 will use. Yeah, I'm gonna use it all the time, to be honest. Unless I have to cook. Yeah, I mean, unless I have to cook like 90 eggs if I'm making like deviled eggs.
That's true. Right.
It also peeled super fucking easy.
Yeah, that's part.
What a fun invention. Who the fuck? Good for the people who actually do shit that they want to do. Because a lot of people have a lot of ideas and don't do them. New products coming 2028. Oh my god, the water's so cold in the jets. I don't want to get my fingers pruny. Oh. I just adjusted the camera angle so many times because every time what the fuck is floating in this pool right now? I'm touching something very squishy with my toe and I'm not gonna act like I'm not concerned because I am. I had to keep readjusting the camera angle because every time I started to get a little bit comfortable, I kept thinking about being murdered. It's crazy how much I think about that. I wish that wasn't such a big concern of mine, but it is. I've always been pretty afraid of it. This is the first time I've ever been out here without somebody with me at night. So, what is on me? Oh, that had to be a grape stem. But there was definitely something squishy at the bottom of this hot tub when I first got in. And the first time I touched it, I ignored it. I said, you know what? It's fine. And then the second time I touched it, I said, you know what? It's fine. Because I would honestly rather pretend that nothing happened than chance trying to touch it with my fingers and then having whatever memory of whatever thing that was completely burned into my memory. Like if it was an actual human eyeball that I was touching, I would rather just not know that it's there. I'm such a fucking don't ask, don't tell person. I'd rather not know all the time. And this is a conversation that I have with, I've had it a billion times with a billion people about a billion different things is, well, wouldn't you rather know? Wouldn't you want to know? No, dude. I would be so happy fucking not knowing all the time. I'm touching, I'm doing it. It's just a leaf. See? I'm glad it happened. It was a split moment decision and I decided I needed to be brave. I feel like that's what I'm trying to do lately is just be brave. I'm very inspired by people and I'm also very malleable. I'm the type of person who unless I'm not careful, I'll believe the first thing I hear. So the first opinion that I hear of somebody, if I've never heard of somebody, I remember it. Because a lot of times it just, I don't know, I think I'm very gullible. Holy shit, I'm so fucking gullible. It's sickening and dangerous how fucking gullible I am. And I'm very trusting, and I think they probably go hand in hand, but I believe that when somebody's telling me something that they're telling me the truth. And it's something I've learned lately to not do so much. I've been really good at not trusting, which sounds negative. And I think in context it can be, but it's also a positive thing. Basically, I'm not very trusting, but that's why trust is so important. No, I'm very trusting. What am I fucking saying? I trust people too much. So I guess that's probably, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it in a way that makes me organize my thoughts without just skipping over them the way I normally do. It's easy to skip over thoughts. What the fuck just touched my butt? It's another leap. Hey, scientific experiment, we did it. The hypothesis was proven. Now I can just tell myself that if it's touching me, it's a fucking leaf. Oh God, isn't this some type of metaphor for something? Like, even though I know that the worst isn't gonna happen, I'm always expecting the worst. Just like this fucking leaf. I was expecting it to be an eyeball. It was just a fucking leaf. I think there's a lesson to be learned there. Anyways, not skipping over thoughts, so where were we? Backtracking to trust, being gullible, and that's why I think that other people's opinions are so important to me. Like when I'm like, oh my God, if people say this thing that's not true, that's the worst thing that can fucking happen. And everybody will hate me. It's because that's how I absorb my information. I trust people's opinions right away. Don't know how we got here. Oh, I'm a very malleable person. I'm very gullible. I don't know. We started somewhere. Who fucking cares? It doesn't matter. How are my fingers getting pruny and I'm not even putting them in the water? I can't wait to play this back and see if my hands were actually in the water this whole time. I don't think they were. God, I fucking hate being pruny. It's so shitty. because I love being in water, apparently, as of late, as of Wednesday. But I hate being pretty. When I was a kid, I used to love raking the yard because I liked to pretend that the grass was a giant's head. And when I was raking all the leaves, I was getting rid of all of his lice and dandruff. I loved it. I fucking loved raking. I would talk to him. Not out loud, probably. Maybe, I don't know. I wonder if I used to talk out loud to myself. Oh, sure as fuck do now, huh? I like when I can remember good things from my childhood. It really excites me. That was one of them. One was picking blackberries and grapes in my grandma's backyard. There was like this little lot of land that was like outside of our fence, but was still technically our property. I say our, but it was my grandma's. But it was like technically her property, so it almost felt like this secret garden, just little secret area that like it like belonged to us, but it was outside of our house. Like, you know how it feels different when you're playing in your backyard versus playing in someone else's backyard, especially if you don't know the person. Like when you're a kid and you just find a bush and you pick berries and it's like not your yard, but like it's not anybody's yard. Does that make sense? It just feels weird, like you're exploring. One of them is home and one of them isn't. Anyway, it felt like that, but it was ours. And we would pick blackberries, and the grapes never grew to grape really edible size. Like there were these tiny little baby grape bunches that I liked to eat even though they were disgusting. I just loved the idea of picking my own miniature grapes and eating them, and they were horrible but amazing. But the grape leaves, we would pick the grape leaves because my grandma makes the best fucking grape leaves. And it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, my grandma makes the best and everybody thinks their grandma makes the best. Truly, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, please trust me when I tell you that my grandma makes the best grape leaves you will have. They're phenomenal. And I've had a lot of grape leaves from a lot of places, and they all taste relatively the same, but my grandma's taste so distinctly different, but in a way that everyone can enjoy. Trust me. She would, we'd pick them in bunches, and then she'd blanch them, and then freeze them, and then she'd write the year on them, and she would keep them in her freezer. I mean, she still does, she's not dead, so I'm assuming she still does. And then we take them out by year, and it's always so cool. I mean, they're not like a decade old in there, like maybe a year or two, because sometimes you need a lot, like if you're doing weddings or graduation parties, funerals. If something comes up where she's making a lot of grape leaves, you need to go into like the stock. So basically you would freeze them, and then the newest years wouldn't be used. But it just always felt cool when you got to the year that you remember picking them. Because when you're a kid, time feels so much heavier because it was a bigger fraction of your life, you know? Like when you're 5 or 6 or 7 and a whole year passes, that's 1/5 of your life or 1/7 of your life. For me, a year, that's only 1/29th of my life. You put it in perspective of days, it's barely a moment. So it felt more significant. So when you pulled out a bag of grape leaves that you picked 1 or 2 or 3 years ago, you think, wow, I remember picking that bag. So many things happened in that time. Literally, the last time I picked this grape leaf that I'm eating today, 1/3 of my life has passed. It was really like that. So to me, it felt like we were eating ancient grape leaves. which felt so cool. And as an adult, it's like, oh yeah, they've been in the freezer for a year. That makes sense. You can store most soups and vegetables up for a year in your freezer, okay. But as a kid, it's eating history. Oh, grape leaves are so good, especially with yogurt, but not like Greek yogurt that you buy in a tin, like yogurt made on the stove. Next level. So good. Oh my god, it is so good. It's a lot runnier, but it's like runnier with chunks in it, if that makes sense. It's just so refreshing, and it feels almost like a dip, but it also feels like you're eating it. Like it feels like a dressing, but a dressing that you're eating. It's so fucking good. Oh, Lebanese food is so good. Shish barak is one of my favorite meals of all time, and I feel like it's the food that I've had the least in my life because it's super fucking hard to make, and I feel like when I was younger I didn't want to try it, but then once I tried it, I could never forget it. We don't have ditches in LA. I wonder if you guys have a ditch. Peyton didn't have a ditch, and he grew up really close to me, so it's actually surprising that our streets would be different like that. But when I was a kid, when it would rain and there were big thunderstorms, we would play in the ditch, and the water would be gushing, and we were pretty small, so the water would come up to our thighs, like our hips almost. And we're just playing in this ditch. Like, we could have easily been swept into a sewer. Like, those pipes leading to the sewer were probably like at least this big. A child could for sure get swept into those gutters, and I knew that, and I think I'm a pretty big scaredy cat in life. I don't know if I was as a kid, but I didn't give a fuck. I feel like I had no idea what death was when I was a kid. Like, it scared me, but I didn't understand what it would actually mean to get swept into the